Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. Coming at you from my backyard garden where all my vegetables, a lot of them are in bloom, and I'm eating lots of flowers and like sprouting broccoli style tops. Anyways, the reason for this episode is one of my famous rant videos. Now this is going to be a whiteboard rant to help kind of, share my points a little bit better with you guys. Now this is my theory. It is not proven or anything like that, but this is just my personal beliefs on this topic, because the reason for this video is actually raw food diet backsliding. I mean, some of you guys might think, when you think backsliding, oh, if somebody's eating cooked after they've been eating raw vegan, they're backsliding, and that's bad. I don't know that I'd necessarily agree with that, but that's beyond the scope of this topic, because I'm actually not talking about, going from raw back to eating cooked food. I started eating some heat processed foods, linked down below if you guys want to learn more about that. That being said, I don't just eat any heat processed foods. I have to cook it in the Instant Pot and minimize the temperature to reduce the toxins created, make some foods more bioavailable, increase the nutrient content of some nutrients. Once again, links down below for those videos as well. But what I want to talk about here is health backsliding on a raw vegan diet. Actually, I had a conversation just yesterday with somebody. We spoke for about 45 minutes. Part of the conversation was, yeah, when I started eating raw vegan, I felt great. And now it seems like I don't feel as well. My stomach is upset all the time. I don't have as much energy, and maybe there are some other things she didn't tell me that was, going on with her. And so she was like trying to think in her head, why is this happening? I'm on the raw vegan diet. It's supposed to be the best diet in the entire world, according to some YouTube influencers out there. And it's the end all and be all. That being said, what I'll tell you guys is a 28-year raw vegan for most of my career, who I still consider myself a raw vegan because I eat the overwhelming majority of my food raw and uncooked. My belief is that a completely raw vegan diet can be limiting, right? And it may not be for everybody. This is evidenced by numerous raw vegans that left the raw vegan community to just start eating carnivore and going back to omnivorous diets because it wasn't working for them. And that's what I don't want to happen to you guys. It's not often talked about. It's kind of like the dark side of raw veganism is what to do when it doesn't work, and more importantly, why doesn't work. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you guys my personal opinions on, this raw vegan health backsliding and why it occurs. All right. So let's start out here. Say, on my whiteboard, you're eating your standard American diet, junk food, right? That's where you're starting. Then you go and start eating raw vegan diet. So already just a raw vegan diet, is going up. And now you're eating a raw vegan diet. No matter what this raw vegan diet is, whether it's all fruits with vegetables with some nuts, or if you're doing a more high-fat gourmet raw vegan diet, I think we can all agree it is still better than a standard American junk food diet where you're still eating significant amounts of processed foods, junk foods that have lots of calories, little nutrition, and barely any food for your microbiome. Meanwhile, a raw vegan diet, no matter if it's fruitarian or whatever kind of raw vegan diet is, that's a significant improvement from the junk food diet. So because it is an improvement, and now you'll be feeding your microbiome with fibers that you've never fed it before, you're also hopefully you're eating enough and you're getting enough calories, but more importantly, you're really blasting on the vitamins, minerals, and more importantly, things like micronutrients and plant phytonutrients that were basically non-existent in your standard American diet. So then you get improvement, you feel great, you have more energy, all these things happen for you, and it's really good. Now the issue is, once you continue on your raw vegan diet, right, most people this diet, so just say they're on a fruit diet, we're just going to say 100% fruit to make things easy. They're going to say we're going to be on a 100% fruit diet. This diet works so good because I went from a junk food diet to a raw vegan 100% fruit diet. I'm feeling great, right? And then what you do is you continue that because you think, oh, that's going to be great, so I'm going to keep doing that. Then you go here, 100% fruit, raw vegan. Maybe that's like your first year. Now the problem is you continue that for another year, and now your second year, right? Now your health starts to deteriorate because you're doing the same 100% fruit, raw vegan diet. And of course, this person's eating fruit from the grocery store that's not picked optimally ripe. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't do 100% raw vegan fruit diet, because I've met very few, like one individual that I really know that has been doing it like 20 plus years, and he eats like 99 point something percent fruit. Of course, he grows all his own fruit, picks it at its ripest. He chops down trees if they're not good for him. If he doesn't like the taste, he puts rock dust and has the best quality fruit in the entire world. And he honestly just doesn't like to eat a lot of vegetables, but he does sometimes. But the problem is with standard American fruit and, and a lot of people, right? Your nutrients were going up, you're leveling out, but at some point now you're headed downhill, and now your health is going to backslide. It's going to go lower and lower if you continue this diet as you get more depleted, if your quality of the food you're eating is not good, and if you're doing other practices like severely limiting the kinds of food and the diversity of food you're eating on a raw vegan diet. If you're just eating only bananas every single day, right, for months on end, it's great. You're getting all the nutrients in bananas, maybe some of the, resistant starch that's in bananas if you're eating them unripe, but you're missing out on a lot of other nutrients that are very important for our body for phase 2 liver detoxification and anti-cancer prevention and many other things, right? So the thing is, I don't want this to happen to you where you basically peak out, you level off, and then you basically plateau, and then now you're backsliding because now your health is degrading because you think, error of attribution, because I did this raw vegan diet, I felt great, I'm going to continue this. What people fail to realize is that our bodies adapt to what we're on, and because it was better, at this point, you should ask yourself, how can I even improve my raw vegan diet? Because most people get lazy. They think, I'm just going to do this exact thing for the rest of my life. I've been on a continual, never-ending quest to always improve my diet. Some people may say, John, you try to improve your diet too much, you're going backwards. Well, that could be your opinion, of course. I think I'm improving it because things that are important to me are improving. And so that's always been my goal. One of the ways you can improve your diet is by changing out the equipment. I have other videos on this, using a slow juicer instead of a high-speed juicer, chewing up your produce more instead of taking chews and swallowing, using a vacuum blender. Just by doing these small changes, that could take you guys to the next level to provide your guys more nutrients, less oxidized, less processed food. You could start cutting out dehydrated foods that maybe you relied on a lot when you got into the raw vegan diet. They're not optimal. I mean, I like to have some dehydrated food sometimes, but I eat mostly fresh food these days. Maybe you could rely a little bit less on frozen foods, especially in the summertime when there's a lot of fresh fruit in season. The wintertime, maybe you have to eat a little bit more frozen foods. Maybe you could go from conventional standard agricultural products to organic agriculture. That'd be a huge improvement, right? Like me, maybe you could do what I've done. I've put in a whole garden just so that I can improve my raw vegan diet. I didn't really change anything except the quality of my food, right? Also, you could unrestrict your raw vegan diet. Link down below to my video on how to unrestrict your raw vegan diet to try to eat more things that are normally talked about on a raw vegan diet. People talk about mostly fruits and vegetables, maybe a little bit of nuts and seeds, like 1 ounce. Link down below to my video how you could, live longer. Your life expectancy can be longer by including things like grains, whole grains, and beans. And yes, whole grains and beans can be included on a raw vegan diet if you want to keep your label. You could sprout them. Not every bean can be sprouted and eaten. Some will make you really sick. But lentils are a good, stable thing that you could sprout and eat. Likewise, you could sprout many grains and eat them. They are then now live food, even beyond raw foods. Links down below to my video with Kailash, where we talk about living foods, which is even more powerful than raw foods. And of course, I always want you guys to eat a diversity of different foods, right? You always go to the store and get lettuce, bananas, oranges, apples, and Roma tomatoes, right? Next week, get some cactus fruit, man. Next week, go to the Asian market and get some crazy greens you never heard of before, right? Get some purple sweet potatoes. Standard purple and even orange sweet potatoes can be eaten raw, and they'll have some starch in there. You know, if you want to eat them raw, spiralize them in a noodles to make them kind of easier to digest and a little bit softer texture to eat if you guys need to. But I really encourage you guys to eat a diversity of foods that will decrease your chances of plateauing and then backsliding on the raw vegan diet. Now, here's another thing that's very important. You know, many influencers that teach raw vegan diet online, unfortunately, do not consider the microbiome. Why is this? Because many teachers, when they first learned about raw vegan diet, the microbiome didn't even exist yet. It wasn't even discovered yet. So some camps of the raw vegan diet don't even consider the microbiome. So like there's, in my opinion, there's like this war against, you know, you got to detox your colon so you're clean, and you got to do that for several years. And if you're still not doing right on the raw vegan diet, it's because you're not detoxified yet. So I just don't really believe that, you know, thinking or those kinds of teachings. Maybe I did like, you know, 20 or 15 years ago, but now that I'm more aware about the microbiome, man, here's the thing, guys. When you're on a standard American junk food diet, your microbiome is crap. And if you don't believe me, do a microbiome test. Link down below to my video where I put up my microbiome test, you know, online so you guys could see it, and more importantly, how to basically go dive deep and diagnose and kind of like get the 411 on your microbiome by taking your data and uploading it to another website called Biome Site that makes it a lot more easy to use. And if you have a low score, then that means your microbiome is crap. Now, just going, and it'd be cool if you guys started this before you went raw vegan, do a microbiome test and eat raw vegan for a year, right? I almost guarantee you guys, no matter what you eat on a raw vegan diet, going from a standard junk food diet, your microbiome will increase. Like I almost guarantee that. I don't know, you know, everybody's situation. There's some other things that can affect your microbiome, but in general, because you're eating more plant foods, you're gonna be feeding more microbes, which then your microbes make secondary metabolites such as short-chain fatty acids, including butyrate, acetate, and propionate, as well as other different, you know, vitamins and things, amino acids, that get you healthier, right? And then your body responds. Maybe some of you guys have leaky gut, right? There's things in the microbiome that will basically patch up the leaky gut if you feed your microbiome the right foods. Fruits and vegetables may do it for you. I've seen a handful of microbiome tests from raw vegans, right? Including mine that I put online if you guys want to see it. I'm at an 80, and to me, that's not good enough. I have friends that are raw vegan that do it, and they're in the 90s, right? And so I think that's a better solid number, and that's where I would like to be. But my friends that are in the 90s, they eat a diversity of food, you know, and eat a lot more maybe salads more regularly. They don't tend to juice so much. They eat a lot more smoothies. And it's all very interesting, you know, to see the microbiome of different people on how they could do it. So I'm not going to say, if you eat a raw vegan diet, your microbiome is going to be crap. I'm going to say it's going to be better than a standard junk food diet. But depending on the contents of your raw vegan diet, you know, I've seen another long-term raw vegan whose microbiome score was not as good as mine. And, you know, in my opinion, they don't eat as much variety as me from what I see. And so I think variety is really the key, and also really focusing on different kinds of foods. You know, if you're cutting out whole food groups like, you know, beans are not a human food or grains are not a human food, then you're limiting the food you're feeding your microbiome. I started actually including, and maybe I have a video on this, other prebiotic foods that are basically, you know, found in plant foods that are extracted, so now I could feed certain bacteria, because what people don't understand, say you eat a 100% fruit diet, you are feeding the bacteria in your gut that love to eat the fruit fibers and the fruit sugars and whatever else is in the fruit after you're done and got all the nutrition out of it. You are selecting for certain microbes, so you could have an overpopulation of certain microbes, and certain microbes that, like resistant starch, for example, are going to be hardly any or non-existent in your microbiome test when you do it. Like, that's what happened to mine, in my personal opinion. I didn't have starch digesting microbes because I haven't been eating starch for 25 years. So I'm like, whoa, this is not cool. I want to get my numbers up. And, it's correlated that people with, greater diversity of healthy and commensal microbes. I'm not going to say we want a greater diversity of all microbes, because you can have a greater diversity of bad microbes. And then that might not be good. So I think really there's a lot of microbiome shifting going on from a standard American diet to any kind of raw vegan diet. Your microbiome will be better, and then your health will also improve, not only because of the vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, live foods with, the life force, prana, chi, whatever you want to call it, biophotons, but also your microbiome is happy, and we're feeding our microbiome. And then, once again, your microbiome levels out, and now you may be getting overgrowth because you're eating the same exact thing you did when you went, for the first time and you got your diet up. So, yeah. So, I don't want you guys to have your, your health go up, plateau, and then decline. That's why I make my videos on my channel these days and sharing you guys what I'm doing. Maybe you guys think I'm full of poop, and I will tell you I am, because I go poop multiple times a day. I'm definitely not constipated because I'm feeding my microbes all kinds of different foods to eat. And trust me, guys, as time goes on, microbiome research will come more front and center, and there'll be more information on this and how it's going to really turn out to be one of the major components of health. I mean, the microbiome is already proven to be 70% of our immune system. And that's why I'm so interested in it, because I got on the raw foods diet because I almost lost my life due to immune deficiency. So, maybe you're successful at the raw vegan diet, you think you're really healthy, then I would always encourage you guys to do a microbiome test. It may be enlightening to see what it says and also the recommendations on what the microbiome results will tell you guys, and what foods you might want to start including on a regular basis to up your microbiome diversity and create a healthier, bacteria colonies and microbes, fungi, and archaea inside you, right? So yeah, that's the end of my rant today. I really want you guys to just try to always take your diet to the next level, whatever that may be. If you tend not to drink any juices, hey, start drinking some green juices. If you don't make a lot of smoothies, hey, drink a smoothie. I think the whole thing is, as I get more mature in life and life goes on further, and as I read more scientific studies, I'm just learning that things are more nuanced. And I know you guys want it easy, like you just want to think, I just want to eat fruit because we're frugivores and it's going to be easy. And, if you guys want to do that, more power to you. I'm telling you guys, based on my 28 years of experience, my research, seeing my microbiome test, I'm sharing with you guys what I believe you guys might want to look into and might want to do, so that you guys can get healthier, because that's why I made this channel. I didn't make this channel like, sign up somebody to my e-course, to sign them up to my monthly membership program and make a ton of money. I do these videos for free. I'm taking time out of my day from planting my vegetables, but this is important because I don't want you guys to plateau and your health decline, and then you go carnivore, and then you feel better because now you're getting the nutrients, and now, more importantly, the carnivore diet doesn't upset your microbiome, so you don't get the stomach problems, because now you're feeding the bad bacteria, and the good bacteria that are trying to fight and make things right in there are just, hibernating. Literally, that's what I believe happens, So yeah, health and balance. Life is so nuanced. Try not to just be this all or nothing thing. And if you do choose to start heat processing your food, watch my other videos, guys. You guys could significantly increase the kinds of food you eat. And even if you think you don't need to do that, get a microbiome test and prove it to yourself. And if you have a microbiome test, like you're in the 90s, 100 even, if you're in 100 or high 90s, message me. I want to see your microbiome test and learn what you're doing. So maybe I'll start doing some of the things you're doing so that I can increase my microbiome test. And that's how we're all gonna learn and grow. I certainly don't know everything. And the more I learn, I don't know. So, we're all on our health journeys. And I just wish you guys the healthiest life. And I wish you guys to be, more nuanced and not just thinking these black and white terms, so that you guys could build your health and not hit this health plateau, which is the dark side of raw veganism that unfortunately not many people talk about. If you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this video with other raw vegans and people that eat a diet style that is very limiting. I encourage everybody to diversify their diet and eat more different kinds of plant foods processed in different ways, because that can make a difference as well. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new upcoming episodes. I've come out every 5 to 7 days. You don't know show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the bell so you get notified as my videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 700 episodes at this time on the channel dedicated to you guys all about eating a raw food, fruit and vegetable based diet, including all my latest teachings where I'm including some heat processed foods, how and why I'm doing it. Once again, links down below in the description if you guys want to learn more about what I'm doing and what I'm up to these days. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.